I'll tell you this. All right, I got another question for you. Tell me where this is from. Is it from Australia or from Florida? Signage says danger, and it shows crocodile, alligator, whatever you want to say. I don't know. There's a big difference, I guess. Do not feed or molest.
Florida.
That sounds like Florida.
Yeah, Florida, exactly. Dude, what's going on in Florida that they're molesting? Is somebody like smoking like lawnmower weed or something? That they would be
Anything
molesting
you can imagine happens in Florida.
anything.
Okay, do you all partake in Reddit?
Yeah, but maybe we should start partaking in Reddit. I like how you said that, partaking.
Yeah. So, there's a whole group, Florida Man, in Reddit.
It's called
because all the headlines always read, "Florida Man does such and such." Florida Man does such and such.
Gotcha.
I never understood that until my early 20s. Me and my buddies took a trip to Florida. And we went to Daytona Beach. And we decided to go out and drive around. We're at the beach. We actually went, it's during biker week. Because that fell when our spring break was or whatever. So we go down there and it's like biker week. And we're like, dude, let's just go drive around for a little bit, right? So we're driving and we'd found this restaurant somewhere. And we were going to go there and eat, and we did. And we decided to drive around. We're looking, back then when you're looking at maps, you know, finding this way back so we could take the
like regular, fold out maps.
Yeah. That shit that don't exist no more. So, we're literally like, we're in like an area where it's like tourist area, and we make a right turn and a left turn. And next thing you know, there's trailers everywhere. And rebel flags and people looking at us like, what the fuck are you doing here, boy? You know? And I'm like,
you dumb
wait a minute, we're in Florida. I didn't know that existed in Florida, you know, until that point.
Is there something in the water? Is it the hurricanes? What is it?
It's the sulfur in the water, probably, I think. Have you ever drank Florida water?
No. I drank bottled water from Florida, but not like the actual, like out of the hose, you know, like you do as a kid. You know, you turn on the hose, you know, it's come out like hot at first, and you had to wait until it turned cold, and then
their water has like a high sulfur content. Like you can taste it. Like even if you get like a Coke at a drive-through at McDonald's or something, it has that sulfur taste. And I'm like, oh, this is horrible. And people are like, what are you talking about? I don't taste it. I'm like,
did they fish for shrimp out of Florida? Is there shrimp in Florida?
I would assume so.
Oh no, though, or do they do crawdads? What is the thing? Because I know
it depends, I guess, where you're at. Because like Gulf Coast, you got a lot of shrimp in that area, you know, because Gulf Coast shrimp.
The Floridians are going to be like pissed at us, like, "What the fuck, you guys? I'll fuck you up."
We love Disney.
Yeah, we love Disneyland. We're coming over to Disney. Get on Avatar.
That's a whole nother interesting place too.
Now, I've had friends. I've never been to Disney World, but I've had friends that go there on vacation a lot. And they said the weather is like weird. It's like they get up and it's stormy, rainy, like pouring. And then like by the afternoon, it's like hotter than freaking the devil's ass.
I remember when I was like 13 or 14, my dad had a buddy who had a house in Florida. And we were going on a trip. And my dad always, of course, you know, if he could find a deal, he would. So this guy, he told my dad, said, well, you can borrow the house. My son's staying there, but he's friends with the neighbors. He can just go stay at the neighbor's house. And we go down there, and then his son actually kind of became our tour guide. His son was like in the early 20s, so he showed us everything around the area. But it was kind of halfway between Orlando and Daytona. I remember that. It was like closer to Orlando, but you could drive to Daytona. And I remember that was the first time I ever went to Daytona Beach, and you could drive on the beach. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. You know, that you could drive your car and park on the beach, you know. You had to pay, you know, to get onto the beach or whatever. It was like $5 or $10, I don't know. But this place, I do remember it was nicknamed Frog County, right? And I remember every day there at like 4 o'clock it fucking rained. And every day at like 4 o'clock, there were all kinds of car wrecks, right? And you looked and it was people that lived there that were wrecking. And I'm like, you would think that if you knew that you lived somewhere and you couldn't drive in the rain and it rained every day at 4 o'clock, you'd stay the fuck at home. You know what I mean? But I found out quickly though why it was called Frog County. They had massive tree frog population. So at nighttime, when like the bugs get on the windows to lick the humidity or whatever,
Hold on, bugs lick humidity?
well, there's a humidity on the windows, so there's moisture on the outside of the windows because it's
Oh,
so humid there, and
that
it's
is
cooler in the house, so you
strange.
get humidity on the outside. So bugs would be all over the windows because of the light and the humidity. Well, then the frogs would all. Next thing you know, there's like frogs covering all the windows, all these little tree frogs because they're eating the bugs. But then one day we're driving and said 4 o'clock rain, and I'll never forget my dad's driving, or I'm sorry, my mom was driving, I think. Regardless, one of my parents was driving. The other one's it starts raining, and it's literally like raining frogs because the rain's knocking all these tree frogs out of the
It's
trees.
raining frogs.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. It's raining frogs.
I'll never forget a frog lands on. I don't know. I think it was my mom was driving, and a frog lands on my dad. He swats it off. It lands on my mom. She's swerving all over the place, and I'm like, "This is how the wrecks happen every day at 4 o'clock." You know, the fucking tree frogs.
Dude, you know what? You're right, because I noticed that when it rains, like you go during the day when it's nice and sunny and stuff, there's people on the streets driving around. Okay, it's normal. Well, it seems like when it rains, everybody wants to drive. Everybody's on the fucking road, driving around. And then I'm thinking, what the fuck am I doing on the road when it's raining?
Well, that's kind of like here. We don't have an ocean, but we have a huge lake, and there's a beach.
Okay, now do you
And it
get
cracks
do you
me up.
get like ocean breeze from a lake?
You get straight water winds. You get straight winds coming across the lake because
Street
it's
wind.
big enough. So you do get a cold front coming across it, I guess so to speak. You will get straight line winds because the lake's big enough. So like by the time they make it across the lake where there's nothing there to slow them down, they'll destroy whatever's on the other side. Knocking trees over kind of thing. Everyone's, but that's a rare occasion. But the funny thing is, okay, so you got this beach, people are out there in the lake swimming, and it comes a big rainstorm. No lightning, no thunder, just rain. And people are running out of the water, running up the beach, and running to their cars and taking off. And I'm like, are you afraid you're going to get wet? You were in the fucking water. Like, it's not acid. Like, I understand we have acid rain, but it's not going to melt you.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
They're running because they're afraid of them frogs.
Yeah, it's raining frogs.
No, there's no frogs like that here.
Okay, so there's this okay, Joe Rogan has this podcast, right? And they're talking about these those frogs that secrete a certain sweat, and people are licking, you can lick them and
Oh,
get
they lick their butts. The toads.
yeah, that they're
Yeah.
toads or whatever, and you lick them, like lick the top, and they give you this psychoactive type.
I saw that on Beavis and Butthead when I was a
Right,
kid.
but I guess what they're doing now is they're taking the secretion and they're concentrating it, and then they're selling it like crack, like shrimp flavored crack. I don't know, or toad flavored crack. And I don't know if it's whatever they're doing, and people are getting high off it, right? And they're seeing like I don't know what they mentioned. I should have looked at it better, but there's this they call it something, Adobe or I'm probably so fucking wrong on this shit. I should look it up. But I guess it's like this. They're seeing this being. It's not like an alien being. It's like they're seeing a being that knows all about you, and like you can't bullshit it because it knows your bullshit. You got to look this up, dude. It's a trip, and like these people like talk about it, and I guess what's his name? Joe Rogan puts it on his podcast. They're talking about it. He's talking with some guy about it, and it says like they know. It's like it's supposed to be like, I guess they're like, it's like you see your own conscience and it knows everything about you. You've never seen it, but it knows everything about you, like all your deepest everythings.
Maybe that's how the Scientologists came up with Xenu. They were licking toad butts.
Yeah, I got it.
Shit, man.
I just want to know who the first person was who was like, I think I'm gonna lick that toad's ass.
That was me.
No, wait. Peter,
Yes.
Funk, how is somebody like, don't they lick the their backs. Well, yeah.
Yeah, they lick their butthole, dude. I mean,
I was
it's
just
like
gonna
a
say their
secretion.
backside of their back, but I guess their backside is their butt.
I mean, it's kind of like dogs have anal glands that they express if they get scared.
Oh,
it
they
sprays out.
express. They like I'm gonna express myself right now in this.
Express yourself.
You guys can't just make fun of things just because it sounds stupid. Like, for instance, have you ever made beef jerky in your dryer?
I'll tell you this though: when I put my clothes in my dryer, there's a tag on there that says "always wash your butt," but I don't know about that.
No, so Peter and I have this recipe. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to. It's best if you use a new sock. Just to put that out there.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Why am I gonna destroy a new sock? Can I just use it like a wash sock?
I mean, you could, but and it probably okay because you're gonna wash that sock in the dishwasher first.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
That way it
Sterilizes it.
Now, when you do jerking, I guess that's what they call it. Do you get like dehydrated?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why we drink so much beer.
Gotcha.
So you get your lean cut of meat, and you cut thin strips. Now you take the sock, and you can. I found it best to put the meat in the sock ahead of time, not afterwards. Put the meat in the sock and tie it off in a knot, or you can use like a zip tie or a bread tie, I guess. I get those long tube socks. Like I get the size 15s or whatever.
So don't you think a zip tie is a little extreme?
Well, I mean, that's what I said. I tie it off. I just because I get the really long socks,
Okay,
so I
go
just
ahead.
tie a knot at the top. But then you soak that sock in your marinade. You don't marinate the meat. You soak the sock in the marinade. And then you put it in the dryer on like the 60-minute cycle. You got to do that twice and let it run through. And not only does it, dehydrate the meat because of the heat, but it beats the meat and tenderizes it as well.
So
Like,
hold on. This is how you guys do
You never heard
jerky?
about this? You never
No,
heard about this?
Dude, I live in California.
It's gorilla jerky, man.
You guys don't have clothes dryers in California? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No, I have clothes dryers, but I use them to dry clothes, not to beat jerky.
Yeah, it's like doing the sous vide in your dishwasher,
Yeah.
You what?
Sous vide. You know what sous vide is, right?
No, I don't know what sous vide is. What is
Educate
that?
the man.
Is-
Educate him.
Okay. Sous vide is where you take like a steak, a nice steak, and you vacuum seal it. And then you put it in this water bath that holds the temperature for several hours, to where the meat is cooked, to where it's actually cooked. And then you take it out, dry it off, season it, and you hit it with like a torch to sear the outside. And it's the most perfect steak you'll ever eat.
Where did the dishwasher come into this?
The sous vide things, the little water heater that holds constant temperature are expensive. So there are people who are just vacuum sealing their steak, throwing it in the dishwasher for a couple hours and running a cycle. And that temperature is enough to heat the steak. And then they turn it and sear it. It actually works from what YouTube says, at least. I haven't tried it.
Wow.
Of course, they're running it through just the dishwasher. They're not actually putting soap in there and running a load of dishes. I was warned that was poisonous.
Well, why wouldn't you? I mean,
and you want to vacuum seal it, of course.
Okay, so if you vacuum seal it, it doesn't matter if you're washing dishes with it because you're getting two jobs done at once. Why waste water? Why waste water?
Yeah, y'all got to worry about that water in California. Here we got plenty.
It's funny when I go like to other states and stuff. I like run the water. I just turn the fucking water on, just let it run for like hours. Because I know you have a lot of it, and I just fucking just use it.
I have a house with 4 people. How much you think my water bill is every month?
Dude, I don't even want to. Okay, how much is your water bill? $8?
$1.37.
No, I don't know how much it is every month because it's so low. They only bill you every 2 months. It's about $18 every 2 months.
This is why I go when I go to different places. When I went to Michigan, and when I was in that hotel, I turned the water on. I turned the shower on. I turned the sinks on, and I just let them run. And I even left and went to the convention, and then I came back and they were still on.
Yep, our rivers dropped about 2 inches.
Their green grass and their green forest turned brown for that moment in time.